All right, folks, welcome back to Crisis Report, November 10th, 2025. Well, hopefully you've been over to PrepperNow and heard the news on what's going on. So because of that, I'm tired and got a good amount here. So we'll go through it. We're not going to be long-winded, but some things might be changing a little bit for the better here, as in getting an actual paid for StreamYard account instead of rolling on the free. So we'll see. I'm going to talk about it. It might be my Christmas gift to myself. But yeah, we're going to follow it where it goes. So if you haven't been over to PrepperNow, I'll just tell the 2 to 7 of you that have been allowed, notified, unlike the 10. Hey guys, we passed 100 subscribers in a year. Yeah, Borg was feeling nice. And he said, I will let you have 100 subscribers because I don't do things organically. So he let us have 100 subscribers. Thank you, Borg. You're so kind and organic and real. And so yeah. So we might be doing things to up the channel a little bit. So don't worry, I won't gain any more subscribers because they don't allow it. You know, because when you are losing the narrative and you can't explain. You know what I was thinking about earlier? Can I wax poetic? You know what I was thinking about earlier? I'm probably one of the last like Gen X is probably one of the last free-thinking generations out there. Maybe some of the millennials, maybe even some in Gen Z. Gen Alpha is done for. AI, whole point of AI is basically to craft a narrative to make them give their little regurgitated LLM talking points and everything that is pre-approved. Free thinking is done. You mark my words. All AI is to go in there and to freaking make it so it tells you everything you need to think so you don't think. So hopefully you're one of the people that doesn't go to AI and I'll have AI like clean an email up, but I'll craft it myself. Like, let me give an example. I'd write some essays and stuff for some things tonight on a personal level. I won't get into it, but had to. I didn't use AI. I used my brain. I went in and I wrote the thing myself and pretty darn good stuff too. Not the best, but better than AI. Don't let it tell you everything and craft your narrative and push you wherever. Okay? Rebuke it. Push it off. Don't get all I'm serious. I had a little bit of an epiphany tonight. That's the whole thing. That's the whole purpose of AI is that we don't think, they tell us what to think, and all the answers you get are crafted in a way that basically subtly lies to you. So there you have it. Okay? Don't be lazy. How about this? How about this? Okay? Check this out. Don't be lazy. Work for stuff. Do things on your own. Be self-sufficient. Don't rely on regurgitated, pre-approved answers from a machine whose whole purpose is to anesthetize and dumb you down. How about that? Yeah, cool. If you're in line with that kind of stuff, that's why you're here. That's why you're here. AI does kill creativity. Let me tell you something I'm doing in the background. I have a guy I played music with 30 years ago. One of these days, I'm going to show you the song that we did. It's crappy, whatever, but I made it. I've written numerous songs. Numerous. Have them all recorded. Listen to them from time to time. I created them. Wrote the lyrics, everything. Be creative. Don't let AI take your creativity, okay? Tell it to be a little bitch that it is and clean up my email, you stupid F, but don't let it do the email for you. And tell the youngins the same thing. In fact, call them stupid for allowing AI to do stuff for them. All right, let's get started. Rant off. Okay, friends, crisis report. Shutdown over? Well, I guess we'll find out. All right, let's get you all set up. I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired. I get a lot. I'm mentally bandwidth is being taken away. A lot of stuff going on in the background in the old PrepperNow world. All good, but it's whoo, it's a lot. It's a lot to wrap around. So here we go. This is your crisis report, November 10th, 2025. All right, here we go. I can do this. U.S. surpasses 10,000 flight delays Sunday in the single worst aviation day since shutdown began. One of the most active volcanoes in the world has started erupting Kilauea, Hawaii's big island, spewing large columns of lava into the air. President Trump pardons Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Mark Meadows, Sidney Powell, and over a dozen others charged with attempting to interfere in the 2020 election results. Markets are boosted by hopes for deal to end the U.S. shutdown. BBC, not institutionally biased, yes it is, says new CEO Deborah Turnus, speaking publicly for the first time since she resigned. Yes it is. You get your talking points from a bunch of rich dicks in AI, and you do what they're bidding. That's what your job is. Your job is to like be creative or think or like get like actual information out. It's to read what they tell you to read because you're a pissant. BBC expected to apologize over Trump row after chief resignation. I saw the video. They basically lied. BBC Chair Samir Shah apologized for error of judgment. No, you lied. You're a liar. U.S. launched 2 kinetic strikes on drug boats in Pacific, 6 dead, Secretary of War announces. Supreme Court rejected call to overturn its decision legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide. Turn into a states' rights thing. If California wants to go whatever the heck California does, let them do it. But if you're in another state that doesn't want to do that, let them do it. States' rights, states' rights, states' rights. Multiple people dead, many injured after a massive explosion in New Delhi. Big car bomb. Canada says it has lost the measles elimination stat. You've lost a lot of stuff, Canada. Let's be honest. No link between paracetamol and autism, according to major reviews. No link between. That's Doubler. Sorry. President Trump announced he will recommend a $10,000 bonus for every air traffic controller who did not take any time off during what he called the Democrat shutdown hoax. Honestly, if you look at it, they lost. You're not going to be reported by mainstream news, but they could have shut this thing. They could have like come back to work like 3 weeks ago. They're voting for the bill that was put out like 3 weeks ago. So air traffic control problems, like SNAP problems, it's on them. Trump, all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income U.S. citizens from the massive tariff income pouring into our country from foreign countries. It's not that massive, which will be used to substantially pay down that. No, it won't. That's a dream. It's a thought. There will be no $2,000 stimulus. Okay, there won't be. Focus on tax cuts, but you're not going to get a stimulus. And if you did, well, you better go out and immediately start buying physical things. Olympics set to ban all transgender athletes from female events after finding scientific evidence of advantage. Really? You mean it's advantageous to be more born a male? Like you're stronger and stuff. That's crazy. I never knew that. U.S. Embassy in India issues a security alert after a car exploded in Delhi. While the cause of the explosion is unknown at the time, the government of India has placed several states on high alert. Let's look at the inorganic manufactured numbers on YouTube. Good to see all 41 of you in there. U.S. Senate has approved bill to end government shutdown. Chinese scientists develop drug that could extend human lifespan to 150 years. Wonderful. I'm sure that's going to go over great. Power suddenly cuts out in the middle of Zelensky's interview. Thousands of New York City workers who lost their jobs for refusing the Rona Jibbity are being given the chance to return to their previous, like they haven't gotten their jobs back. Really? Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Christine Pelosi, has announced her candidacy for the California State Senate. Wonderful. There's always going to be a Pelosi in office, just like her mayor of Baltimore father before. You want to see a crappy city? Go on down to Baltimore. Pelosi started that sucker. I'm just ready to go and give myself a little time off and let my daughter take over. And by daughter, I mean we don't really know. It might be just Chris. Antifa protesters have rushed the entrance of tonight's TPUSA event, attempting to break down the barriers because they're violent extremists. X announces it will display more left-wing aligned community notes. Wonderful. The 78% of them that are pushed there, that's just not enough. Let's promote the left. They're so freaking smart. Godlike Democrats claiming this is what the platform users want. No, it's called bots. Most people I think half the people I engage with, all my roll cons that come here, I think they're all bots. I believe in yeah. Sure. Most people have to work. Most people have time to sit there on Twitter all day. So if they're going in air quotes listening to what Twitter has to say, those are all freaking fabricated, unreal, inorganic bots. It is what it is. Trump responds to BBC resignation saying they were caught doctoring his January 6th speech. They were. Journalists called it a terrible thing for democracy, just a terrible thing in general. Trump attends the Washington Commanders Salute to Service game against Detroit Lions, making him the first sitting U.S. president since '78 at a regular season NFL game. The lovely crowd at the Commanders Stadium, whatever the heck it's called, Northwest Stadium, were booing. They want to come off as if they're booing Trump, but they're actually booing service members that were being sworn in. That's a piece of crap. Secretary of War Hegseth confirms that yesterday 2 kinetic strikes were conducted on 2 vessels operated by designated terrorist organizations. 3 male narco-terrorists were aboard each vessel. All 6 were killed. No U.S. forces were harmed. I'm sure they were just like coffee baristas from the local Caracas coffee place, and were just not terrible people. But they were just trying to get by and provide for their poor little children. RFK Jr. announces that the FDA is removing warnings on women's estrogen-based hormone replacement therapy products. Okay, whatever. Microsoft recruits popular influencers to promote its Copilot AI chatbot to young consumers with a campaign that sells Copilot as a life coach for everyone. Ooh, a life coach. What does a life coach tell you to do? It tells you to do things in its way. What if Copilot is lying to you or really has nefarious kind of ideas? Should you listen to a computer program? No. Trump says 600,000 Chinese students coming to the U.S. is a pro-MAGA stance because you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business. I know that MAGA wants better than anybody else. So all the Chinese send over their kids. They steal all of our information. Meanwhile, colleges put together all kinds of jobs and packages for the diversity officers. Water crisis in Iran following reports of extremely low water levels in Tehran. Authorities in Mashhad, country's second largest city, have also announced city's water reservoirs have dropped below 3% capacity. Iran is screwed with water. Screwed. Prime Minister's office clarified there will be no presence of Turkish forces on the ground as part of the international force that will be responsible for enforcing the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Iran has reportedly developed a new uranium enrichment site, codenamed Pickaxe Mountain. We've known this for a few months. Adjacent to Natanz, and refused to allow international inspectors inside. In addition, Iran's missile factories are said to be working 24 hours a day in order to mass produce an arsenal of preparation for a potential Israeli attack. Israel strikes. Iran plans to drop thousands of missiles on Israel simultaneously, as opposed to sending them in waves. If you were attacked, you'd probably... Anyone's attacked, they're going to send missiles. It is what it is. Manager of the Karaj Dam said that this month, dam reservoirs are only about 8% full, most of which are defined as dead volume that cannot be extracted. Experts warn that this is the result of poor and ongoing management of water resources, and that as the dam approaches loss of function, Alborz province may face a severe drinking water crisis, damage to agriculture, and widespread environmental harm. Iran has recorded the fastest decline in birth rates in the world, according to a representative of the Ministry of Health, the head of the Young Population Department. Birth rate has dropped from 6.5 children per woman in the past to just 1.5. Yeah, that in Tehran, particularly in the wealthier districts, the rate is even lower than the poor southern neighborhoods. It's almost like Hollywood is sitting there beating it into your head to only have one child. Wonder why that happened. Grouse. Manufactured numbers, 45. Keep it low, Borg. Keep it low. At least 8 people are reported dead in an explosion outside the Red Fort, India's capital of Delhi. Haaretz, Israel pours millions into AI conservative church targeting and U.S. influence ops. Haaretz has uncovered a network of multi-million-dollar contracts showing that Israel is attempting to rehabilitate its image amongst American conservatives through a vast propaganda campaign spanning artificial intelligence, evangelical churches, and right-wing media networks. There's some party, folks. Investigation reveals that since mid-2025, Israel's foreign ministry, tourism ministry, and government advertising agency, LAPAM, have routed millions through the PR giant Havas Media Germany to American contractors linked to Donald Trump's political machine and evangelical circles. The effort is designed to reshape Israel's perception amid a historic collapse in the U.S. public support following the Gaza war. No comment. Many moving pieces in Southcom as the Ford Carrier Strike Group steams toward the Caribbean and POTUS considers striking land targets in Venezuela. Visualizing U.S. force posture with illustrative Tomahawk land attack missile and joint air-to-surface standoff missile strike packages. Are you cold? Well, cold records dating back to the 1800s may be broken, becoming Arctic freeze. Season's first outbreak of freezing Arctic air is headed for the United States this weekend. In the next week, it will register as the most unusually cold blob of air on the planet for a time. Chilly air will reach the plains, Midwest, weekend before spreading to the East Coast on Monday. In total, 155 million people across the contiguous states are expected to experience freezing conditions through Wednesday. Most notable aspect of this early season blast of cold air is how far south it will push, reaching the deep south Gulf Coast and Florida, where temperatures will rumble 20 to 30 degrees below average for the first time of year near early next week. Sunshine State, the frigid air may break low temperature records and cause iguanas to fall from trees. Air will also be remarkably dry, making it feel even colder when combined with gusty winds. New temperature records, record cold days or nights might be set across 13 states from Pennsylvania to Florida in the next week. Israel has begun constructing a massive wall structure in southern Lebanon in the ITEHIL direction. The wall, which in some areas is almost a kilometer deep inside Lebanese territory, is assumed to be a new border wall, which would indicate Israel has effectively annexed large areas of Lebanese territory. Currently, it is unknown if Israel plans to build the wall structure across the entire south of Lebanon. Rerum Novarum's map shows the original United Nations Israeli-Lebanese border and the new Israeli wall being built deep inside southern Lebanon. So they need the room, folks. Okay, they need it. Royal Thai Air Force has confirmed the termination of the peace agreement with Cambodia, which was signed last month in Malaysia alongside President Donald J. Trump, citing contiguous violations and hostile action by Cambodia. Royal Thai Air Force affirms that it will perform the duties with honor, dignity, and with the nation's best interests as the priority, Air Force said in a statement on Facebook. PRC has already begun building its fourth aircraft carrier. So, yeah. Hold on, we're checking something real quick. Okay, I'm reading Bad Bobber's thing. Thank you, Scrappy, for notifying me. Okay, hold on real quick, folks. Bad Bobber is a member, and Bad Bobber deserves my attention, even if it's in the middle of a broadcast. Okay. All right, so Bad Bobber's been hidden accidentally. Bad Bobber, I will get you back. Just hold on. In fact, I think I can do it right now. Hold on real quick, folks. Bad Bobber. Where are you at, Bad Bobber? Yep, got accidentally hidden. Bad Bobber, don't freak out. Oh, there you are. Hold on. Let me get the Bad Bobber real quick. No, don't want to hide. That's weird. Here we go. Nope, that's right. All right, I got to do this afterwards. Sorry, guys. Bad Bobber, just hang tight. I'll fix you. Scrappy, thanks for notifying me. We'll get there. We'll fix it. PRC has already begun building its fourth aircraft carrier, designated currently as a Type 04. The third one was just released, called the Fujian. From what is known currently, the Type 04 class carrier will be larger when the USS Gerald Ford. It will be powered by a nuclear reactor. It will have an electromagnetic catapult, or EMALS, and will be able to house up to 100 aircraft, displacement of about 110 to 120,000 tons. There are rumors that the PRC will build a fifth carrier simultaneously, but those remain unconfirmed. Thomas Massey is remarried a little more than a year after his wife of 35 years died. Libertarian who has been blasted as a loser by Trump. Stop. Confirmed Monday that he had wed former Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky staffer Carolyn Grace Moffa, and of course, raw milk was served at the wedding. Paul and GOP Representative Jim Jordan, Warren Davidson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Victoria Sparks all attended October 19th ceremony in Pennsylvania, where his new wife is from. And that, my friends, is your crisis report for November 10th, 2025. I'm going to go play around on the back end of the old YouTubes and find out how I can undo my lovely friend Bad Bobber, who is a member. So maybe you want to become a member, okay? Helpful, always. Maybe you want to join us in other areas. Maybe you want to go to Subscribestar or Locals or Substack and get a full transcript or Truth or Gab or Minds or X or whatever. Join us on the community. It's growing, slightly growing. Doesn't help when they hide my videos like they did the other day, but yeah, it is what it is. Other than that, friends, we're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you want to turn your IRA or 401k into gold and silver, great company to do so, highly rated by the Better Business Bureau. All right, I'm going to go collapse in bed. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow on the next one. Have a great night. PrepperNow is out.